Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. She's a super freak, super freak. She's super freaking out. Everybody sing. Super freak, super freak. Out. Everybody sing. Super freak, super freak.
Hey guys, Finless Bob here. How's it going? So this little video is going to be about the UG802 Android mini PC. Basically, I'm not going to explain the unit. I'll do another video demoing that. But it plugs in HDMI to a TV set, gives you USB power or micro USB SD card, and it's basically a full Android unit that turns your TV set into an Android unit. So some of the complaints that have been online and whatnot is that the the Wi-Fi signal is kind of weak for the device. And while I've played with it, I mean, it works. I've noticed the Wi-Fi signal in the Android status bar is a little low, but it seems to transfer data pretty good. But I think it could be better. Now, some people ask if a ROM can assist in improving that signal strength. My belief is no, this is a hardware thing. Sure, you could go into the resource files and maybe adjust the icon in the status tray to try to show you a higher signal, but it doesn't mean you actually have a higher signal. So you have to be careful when you start talking about ROMs and improving Wi-Fi. What I believe the problem with the unit is, or not the problem, what I believe that can improve the signal is, I've had this apart already, so this video is going to demonstrate how to do that. But there's a patch antenna stuck to the side of the case. Actually, it's up here. So when you plug this in a TV, or even with the supplied cable, which is only yay long, this unit is very close to your TV, which emits electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic emissions, which I believe can affect the Wi-Fi signal. Additionally, as anybody knows, Wi-Fi does not like to go through walls and especially dense components. So if your router's on the front of your TV and this is in the back of your TV, the signal's got to go through the TV. So it causes the signal to be weak, and I believe I found a way that I think will help improve your signal strength by slightly modifying the unit. Alright, so with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take this apart. Now, basically this whole unit just snaps together, alright? Don't go digging at it with a screwdriver just yet. I'm going to show you how to carefully do it. What you want to do is take a look at the HDMI port. You'll see that the lid is smaller than the base. Alright, what I found is just get right under there. Now don't go jamming it in there. You just want to pry it up lightly. Alright, and once you do, you'll see that it starts to pop away. And you'll see these little clasps underneath. So what you kind of want to do is go right next to each little clasp and continue to pop it off all the way around. Don't dig into the circuit board in there. We don't want to be knocking off electronic components. Alright, and you can just work your way around the unit. Alright, like so, and just keep popping them off one by one, and there we have it. Now, I highly recommend you make sure you're not seeing me do it, but if you have an electrostatic band or something, just make sure you don't zap everything with electronics, so be careful handling the board. But as you see, when you get the unit apart, you will see that there's quite a long antenna on this, alright, or a wire on this, and here is the patch antenna for Wi-Fi. Alright, what we're going to want to do, this is the patch antenna, what we're going to want to do is it's slightly glued down. We don't want to mess it up. So what we want to do is very lightly go ahead and unstick it from this cover. Do not damage it. Alright, so try to get underneath it everywhere you can. And we want to try to get that antenna off, unglued from the case. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to come back and show you another modification. The idea is we're going to hang this outside of the unit so it's farther away from your TV and possibly picks up a better signal, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and very carefully pry this off of the plastic without tearing the patch antenna anywhere, and then I'll come back and I'll show you another modification. Okay, so there we have it. It's pretty simple to peel off. Just peel it off like you're trying to peel off a label off something that you want to save the label on. So just be careful. If you tear it, that's it. You're done. So just peel it off very carefully. And then what I did is I just took a piece of a pad and cut a square piece of cardboard and restuck it to that. That strengthens it. If you want, I'd recommend putting a couple wraps of tape to keep this wire from pulling on it, all right, which I will do later. So I'm going to take some electrical tape, make 1 or 2 wraps just to kind of help secure that wire. All right, the next thing we want to do is obviously we want to put the case back together, right? So you can run it out of the case anywhere you want, but I wouldn't want to run it on the side where the SD card is or something where, you know, when you're plugging stuff in, you'll be snagging on it. So I'm going to run it out this side of the case, all right? But what we need to do is modify the case so we can do that. So I'm going to hold the case back together, and I'm just going to simply look where I have my wire coming out, and I'm going to make a mark with an X-Acto knife right here at the case. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip some plastic away here so that when I snap it back together, the wire has some place to come out. All right, so let's go ahead and make that modification. We'll come back and take a look. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Where I made my mark, I just took a pair of side cutters and went snip, snip, made a little triangular hole. Obviously, you could be more artistic about it if you wanted to, but that'll give us our clearance. Now, if you're going to be moving the unit around a lot and unplugging it a lot and all that kind of stuff, you may want to strain relief this wire. So what you might want to do is where you had it lined up is take a hot glue gun. Do not use CA glue or anything like that. It's not good for traces and things on the board. But a little bit of hot glue and just tack that wire down on the board, and that'll give you some strain relief. However, I don't plan on moving mine around much, so at this point we can simply just snap the case back together. And as you see right now, we've got a nice antenna sticking out. Again, I'm going to wrap some tape around here. Now when you plug it in your TV, you've got this is not behind a circuit board near the HDMI connector where it was. I believe that'll help from electromagnetic radiation. You also can, once you plug this in your cable, you can maybe stick it to your wall unit or stick it to your wall or put it somewhere where it may get the best reception from your router. By the way, turning it 90 degrees may affect the signal. So try that. If the signal's not that great this direction, try it this direction and see what happens. It is a patch antenna. Alright, so basically that is the mod, straight and simple. And hopefully this will give you quite a bit more Wi-Fi range and allow you to put the antenna where you need to get more Wi-Fi range. Alright, so that's my little modification to try to improve the Wi-Fi signal on this unit. Again, I might add that for me it wasn't bad. It's just, you know, when you've got it tucked behind a TV or something, I believe that's what was affecting the Wi-Fi. It worked for me. It wasn't bad. But certainly I've seen people talk about the weak Wi-Fi signal, and certainly my signal was lower than I would have liked it to be. So after making this modification, give it a try. Hey, the worst thing that can happen is you can put it back in the case. Unpeel it from the cardboard, stick it back on there, tuck the wire back in, and you're back to the way you were except for the little notch you made. Big deal. Alright? So that is my Finless wireless modification, and hopefully it will work out for you. Let me know on FreakTab, please.